coming up this week on the road, trying to get back on track, and I thought it was a great day of, above the neck work, and we're going to continue to just strive and get that much better every single day. So I'll open it up to any questions.
JJ, when you go back and you watch the film, how close are you piecing everything together and just saying, like, man, if I would just do this, we would be much better than what we are?
I feel like for me, I kind of make the analogy of just like, a cork about to come off a bottle. Just understanding that it's, 1 to 3 little things that I need to change about my game that is going to make a huge difference in the outcome of every single drive in the game. So, yeah, I feel like it's really close, but it all comes down to the consistency of the fundamentals and the little details.
What are the 1 or 2 things you would change?
I would say, just my posture, the way that I'm processing the defense in terms of I know what I'm getting, but let the rhythm of the play out. Don't be getting to that answer too quick because, it's a timing and rhythm of the concepts and the defenses. And just decision making, just understanding, the situation of the game, not just the concept that I'm trying to execute. Understand, like for instance, that first pick last game. It's 4 minutes going into half. We're on our own side of the territory, and just understand, what that risk factor should be, and go from there. So I'd say those things.
JJ, when it comes to things like posture mechanics, how much of that stuff is new in terms of what they're asking you to do versus the way you've been taught or coached before on it?
It's very new. Coming in here, I was taught how to play quarterback in a very different way, and that's, expected going into the league, going into any new team, any new system. But at the end of the day, it was really just the injuries that I felt like, kind of took away all those reps and the constant repetition to make those a habit and make them concrete like KO talks about. But yeah, I feel like, it's just the repetitions. How many times could I go home and every time I take the dogs out, I'm getting, 10 drops each time. Little things like that where you just keep building the reps.
JJ, you said a couple times on Sunday, NFL was really hard. Is there a situation where maybe you put a little too much pressure on yourself to succeed?
It's a great question. I feel like the pressure level that one puts on themselves has to, match the pressure that the team's going under, especially at the quarterback position. And at the end of the day, pressure is always going to be there, but it's, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis? Who are you internally, and what's going to come out when the pressure's at its highest? So I feel like there's just, so many moments in the 5 games that I've played so far where I felt that pressure show up, and there's little things that showed up in my game that I know I need to work on, so when that situation happens again, it won't be an issue.
You talk about some of the stuff being new. How hard is it to untrain your mind from 15 years of learning one way and now having to learn a different way?
It's really hard. You're rewiring neurological pathways, and that's not something that happens overnight. So just understanding and giving myself that grace, that patience that, I might not have it today, but it's something that I'm going to continue to strive after day, rep after rep, and get to the place where we all want me to be. And yeah, it just comes with all those reps because, anything new like tying your shoe takes time. And, especially playing at the level of the National Football League, the urgency to it is something very important, but no matter what it is, it's going to take time.
JJ, you've talked a few times recently about the importance of breathing, staying kind of calm in those tough moments. Like, how much do you think that can be tied to some of these things like posture?
I feel like it could be tied to mechanics in a way of just, what is your physiology like going into that rep? Is it something where, is your body telling you need to press, and having that awareness to be like, no, I don't. I just need to do my job and, take the little things as serious as possible and not let the, external factors of emotion and all that get in the way. But yeah, I would just say, it's just the reps after the reps for sure.
And what is the balance of like thinking about some of the mechanic posture stuff while also managing play call, playbook time? How do you mentally try to wrap your head around all of that in real time?
It's a great question again. I feel like it's extremely difficult, understanding that these defenses are not simple. There's a lot of protection plan that takes up a lot of brain space. Obviously, the new concepts going in week after week, the coverages, and those little things about your fundamentals slip sometimes. So I feel like the more preparation I can do throughout the week to make sure those things are to a T gives me more brain space to work on, the consistency of those little things. But yeah, it just comes down to throughout the week, especially today in walkthrough, like really hammer that home, never take a rep for granted, and just keep building from there.
JJ, what are those conversations like with the skill guys right now? I know Adam, Justin said, they have to do something extra, say something to you. Do that. What's it been like? How are you guys getting over that together?
They've been awesome. I can't thank them enough for the patience level and the leadership out of every person in that group, them pushing me every single day to be the best version of myself and doing it in ways that a lot of people don't see. So, I just love them with all my heart and so grateful for every single one of those boys.
Have you and Justin added anything into your weeks of doing work outside of practice or anything like that?
I would say, it's just more time hanging out. Getting to know each other off the field is always something that is of extreme importance. But, just the communication. Obviously, we've been together for 2 years now, and I feel like we have a really great relationship, to be honest with each other and not let, emotions and egos get in the way. Let's solve this problem. Let's fix the solution instead of, hurting ourselves trying to protect feelings.
Last few.
JJ, with Justin, just specifically, how would you kind of characterize the way he's kind of led through some of the ups and downs, helped you kind of through some of the ups and downs?
I would characterize it as he possesses the most important quality that any great player, any great individual wants to achieve, which is consistency. How he comes in the building every single day, he's the same guy every single day. And just being able to, see how he reacts and responds to some of these rough patches, it's been extremely comforting to know that, he's going to continue to uplift me, continue to instill confidence, and, do the best thing he can for this team, which is just being himself. All good. Thank you, guys.
So familiar. How's it feel going back home now?
Definitely excited to go back. Last time I was there was welcomed with much love, and that's always appreciated. So anytime I get to go back, it feels like a full circle moment, and just to take time to realize the path that I've been on, this journey, and all that it's taken and what more it's going to take.
Would you guys characterize this week as a must-win week for you guys?
I feel like every week is a must-win now. So I mean, you'll get that urgency from me and spreading that around to the guys. But as far as pressing, I feel like we don't need to necessarily press anymore, because that's when guys start to press, they feel like they got to do more than their job, and everybody just has to do their job.
Kind of a random one here, but I think Emmanuel Wilson in Green Bay said that you always told him that you thought he belonged. What was it about him that you felt like?
Just his work ethic. Like when he would get his opportunities, what he would do with the ball, he'd always make the most of every opportunity he got, whether it was one carry in a game, one carry in practice, or 5 or 10, whatever it may be. He would make the most of it, and you can tell that he was very hungry, always wanting to find ways to get better, coming to pick my brain. After every run, he's coming back talking to me, hey, what'd you see, what could I have done? Even in the meeting rooms, picking the brains, and just I remember kind of pretty clearly his first preseason game, and the first preseason game of the year. We went over 100. Like, it was just a special night, and it was cool for me, because it was like I had spoken life into him, and then for him to go out and do it. I mean, I didn't have anything to do with it, but just to instilling confidence in the guys around you and letting them know, hey, you belong, and especially him coming from a smaller school. And anytime I get a chance to have running backs around me in my room, I try to just instill as much confidence in them, because it's a league where they'll try to tear you down. So.
Aaron, how did you feel about the running game overall in the Bears game?
I feel like we got it going. The blocking unit did great. I ran the ball. I feel like I ran the ball well. JP ran the ball well. We came in, and I feel like early was kind of setting it up, and then later came the body blow. So like maybe early some of those 3, 4, 5-yard runs are going to turn into 10, 12, 16 touchdowns as you continue to wear on those D linemen in the game. And I think that's one of our strong suits too. Our guys they don't necessarily tire quick. Like if we get in a hurry up, they're ready to go. If we're down, they're ready to go. No matter what situation, they're ready to go. So I think that helps as well. I think I'm even more excited about it this year than I was last year because I didn't get in last year. So it's definitely something I got to smell the end zone, find a way to make it happen one way or another, and then get my leap in. in regulation instead of after regulation this time.
What do you think Micah Parsons has added to that defensive end?
I think he's just not to say he's made him more hungry because I got a lot of respect for Kenny Clark, and he was one of the leaders when I was there, and we're brothers. So not to say make him, but I guess a little younger. And then you get depth at the outside linebacker, pass rushing. I think before he got there it was Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary. Then you throw him in the mix, and it's like guys you having constant pressure, which they like. But I think he just gives them a sense of confidence as well when he's on the field. And when you have players like that, Justin Jefferson does that for us. You got Christian Darrisaw does that for us. So you have players like that as well.
Aaron, after playing with Jordan Love in his first season, like what do you sort of learn, or what do you feel like is your goal, responsibility when you have a brand new quarterback?
I feel like my goal and my responsibility is to make their job easier, but also echo to the 9 others. Yeah, because I'm 10, so that would be 11. Yeah, the 9 others. Sorry, that we got to make his job easier. And once he's gotten some of those reps and some of those things, he's gonna make our jobs easier. But in the early stages, you got to make his job easier, and that's the same things that I echoed with Jordan when I was there in Green Bay with him. And is a matter of just like execution. Like I said, the 111, catching what's thrown to you, and I've had a drop too, so I'm in that boat. But just making his life easier, because it doesn't all fall on him. If we execute and we handle some of those things, he wouldn't be getting looked at how he is.
Aaron, what's it like for you just seeing him struggle a bit and trying to work through and figure it out?
I told J.J. after the game I was proud of him. She heard me say it. Just that never quit. I've seen guys turn the ball over, maybe fumble the ball, and they get in a place where they can't go back on the field, or when they step back on the field they're not themselves. And for him to always keep us in the game, or even give us a chance at the end when we go up and win it, that's what I'm most proud of. That he's not giving up, he's not quitting. He makes a mistake, he's holding himself accountable, and then he's coming on the sideline like, hey, I can't do that. And just we're talking about it. We know it's going to be is going to take reps. Is going to be some growth, and he's been doing it all year. But with him doing that all year, we're still in every game, and we can win every game. So that's why I have the utmost confidence in JJ, and we can get this thing done. Thank you.
I think it's really special. I'm a football guy myself. In terms of just the history and just what the stadium itself holds. And I remember my first time, my rookie year, when we actually played there. I remember being out. It was COVID, nobody out there, and it just felt like one of those places that was historic. And re-rack it the next year back, having fans in there playing in negative degree weather, and I've probably had almost every experience you could have at Lambeau. Besides the playoff game. So I consider it a special place for me, just to play in that history and to be a part of, things that go down in history. And I think the atmosphere and the environment is fun. Anytime you can go in a place and feel like it's you against the world, as a competitor, it lights something up in you.
So speaking of being underdogs, the math is not great right now, but how much do you guys look at that and say, the door is not closed? If we take care of what we need to take care of, there is still a big goal down the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's just our philosophy, 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time. You could get caught up into, what matters and what doesn't. How can we do this? How can we do that? But at the end of the day, we got to be where our feet are. We got to attack each and every day and trust in our process. I think process over results is the biggest thing we're stressing right now. You could get caught up in it's not working for us, but we do the things the right way. We go about things the right way, and I think the process is always going to trump the results. So as long as we do that, we'll look up at the end of the year and see where that leads us.
When you throw in the tape and you look at your defense the last couple of weeks, it seemed like you guys have turned the corner. What's been the reason for that?
I think just all 11 guys playing as one. I said this a couple weeks ago. The reason our defense wasn't where we wanted it to be was because, we had a lot of times where 10 guys could be doing the right thing and one guy messes up. And I just think over the past couple weeks, we've been having majority snaps where all 11 guys are doing their job, playing hard, playing fast, playing physical, and it's been leading to good results on the defensive end. Obviously, we need to do that as a team and find a way to play as more consistent as a team, and that's what we're striving for, and that's what we're striving for this weekend.
How much do guys like you coming back influence that consistency as well?
Oh, a lot. You get one of your consistent players on the field leading the way, especially for the young guys. It does something. It's another spot we don't have to, to look at or worry about. Or, think about. He's a guy who offense is game plan for a very good reason. And anytime a presence like that is on the field, it definitely calms you as a defender and allows you to play a little bit faster.
Appreciate you, brother.